Ahem, ahem. This is Synoptic, and I'm doing a commentary for Empire Total War. This is a 3 vs 3 battle involving the Last Guards clan and members of the Red Army, Arthur's Knights, and for the Reich. For the Last Guards, Prussia, being played by von Kickyourass, is taking the midsection. I'm playing as Sweden, taking the rear, and I'm going to play a supporting role. And Clausewitz is taking the far left with United Provinces. On the opposing side, France has the task of taking Clausewitz on their right, and then its midsection consists of Russia and the United States. Okay, firstly on the far left, with Clausewitz being United Provinces, he's taking the far left. He's hugging the red line here, so that effectively stops any left flanking ability from the opponent, and he's also employing meat shield tactics from militia to protect his more valuable units from behind, being Swiss infantry. France is taking the far left of this battle with some units of line infantry and heavy cavalry. Von is going to assault in a frontal charge. I've already split my army into two contingents, taking upon the flanks of Von. This allows me to do as much maneuver as I can, and it won't be too long before the first contact happens between France and United Provinces, as both of these players practically attacked each other, whereas me and Von had to attack defenders. This will be the first contact. From France's perspective, you can see his allocation of his men. It's taking advantage over the current land here. You can't take this land here, so he's positioned himself at the openings, although he's already started to take fire from long-range units from United Provinces, but he's going to take that land anyway. United States has also employed a little mid-shield tactic here. They got their own militia unit, and they're just going to run straight at Von, France's Prussian army. But Von also has his own militia, so every nation pretty much has their meat shield. At this point, France is advanced within long rifle range, and he's advanced his left body, which has temporarily made them within attacking strikes of United Provinces. So Clausewitz is able to mount a charge. At this point, I'm going to reinforce with 3 heavy cavalry as well as 2 light cavalry, and at some point Prussia's also going to send some cavalry over. And also noticing the long rifles here, these two are going to be eliminated, as well as the entire left body of France. Back to the Russian and United States defense. Following the demise of United States' militia, Prussia is going to advance and now engage. I've already set my right flank up to within long range, and considering the complete loss of France's left body, Clausewitz has the ability to engage in flanking maneuvers. So on Prussia's front, the United States has launched some cavalry assaults with their regimental force into the main body. It was more effective than probably should have been. It routed a Jaeger unit, but regardless, this regiment will die, as Prussian Guard de Corps come in there, far superior. Back in the far left, this is all that's left of the initial fight, the first contact. The problem with Clausewitz's engagement was that it was too far from the main battle, and we're going to see how long it takes for him to get up back to the actual fight, because he's still facing remnants of some French, a couple of units, as well as Russian cavalry. He's just sending in there, most likely just to hold him down, because once that army gets to its destination, there'll be no chance for the other two. And now Prussia has engaged in double line fire. He's got his long range and his line infantry within skirmisher range, so these long rifles are going to get heavily shot. And it's also not too long from now that Von, Prussia, is going to disconnect. He's going to lose connection to the game, so the AI will take over, and it's going to do some pretty stupid things, such as use its entire heavy cavalry force to charge at routing forces that consist of about 3 or so men, all the while his light infantry units get shot up. So that's going to change things a bit. So about 5 minutes have passed, and United Provinces is about halfway there now. And at this point, United States sends 3 regiments of force, and a crazy charge against all his line infantry. At this point, Clausewitz has already set boxes with all his men. Not to mention, he's got a guard unit over here in a flanking position against his horse, so that's going to incur massive losses for all the cavalry here. So you can hear all the horse cries. They aren't very happy. At this point, the United States has moved up its Marines, extremely high fire rate, and using them so late in the game is going to be very effective considering how they run out of ammo in the long run. So this is actually the first time they've been shooting since the game has started. So they're relatively fresh. This is going to cause my advance. I have to hurry up my attack. I have to eliminate all these units here so I can start flanking America. And as you can see, even though it's halfway there, is still a long way away, United Provinces. Hurry up! So at this point, Von has disconnected. He lost connection to the game. So he's got his cavalry doing God knows what. They're just kind of running at things. There's nothing even there, they're just running at it. So I got my flanking force. I had to retreat it because of the heavy fire rate of the Marines. Even though I had the woods, they still shot up way more than I was killing him. At this point, I'm going to send in my 2 heavy cavalry units. And as Sweden, they're proportionately more. I send them in this tiny gap here. I have to really watch the stakes. Back to Prussia's main body. It's practically gone at this point. Russia's line infantry has busted multiple holes and is also engaged me in melee as well. Back over here. But this time I have the hill advantage and I got a couple of shots off. So I reduced his numbers quite heavily. And I'm charging the rears of this rifleman unit. Okay, United Province is finally getting kind of close. Russia has already been able to reinforce this area with about 3 line infantry, and the US is also going to send some units over because he has a lot to spare. Following the rear charges of my heavy cavalry units, I was able to bust a hole in the right flank. This allowed me to break through and engage in flanking fire. Not too long from that, however, the United States reallocated its men and created a base of fire to ruin my flanking. So, and here's the cavalry again doing some amazing stuff. Charge that tree! And as I fire, the United States is going to attempt to hold and flank maneuver on me. You can see these units here getting within close range for maximum firepower, and this unit over here is going to get right up on my flank. But I see this coming and I'm going to send my heavy cavalry over and hit them in the rear. Back over to United Provinces fight. I'm doing the same thing to the United States. I got my flanking fire here, but Russia has some line infantry over here charging me in another melee charge. So United Provinces has a lot of men following the French fight, so he won practically hands down there. So he's a lot to spare, a lot of men to take on this army. I don't think he really needed my help here. Back to my side on the right, noticing the flanking force of the line infantry, I engaged in melee as soon as possible. Sent my heavy cavalry in the small gap over here between those stakes, and that allowed me to charge the side and rear of this unit here. At the same time, I kept moving around my men. You can see with the allocation of my men now, just to flank and shoot up any advancing unit. So my fight over there is practically over. Continued flanking fire and heavy fire from Swiss infantry, the fast reloaders. The United States won't last much longer, even though they are Marines. Russia still has some line infantry here doing its melee charges. But this time the United States actually caters towards the flanking maneuvers. You can see over here. But the problem with this is he's just opened up a new flank. So protecting an initial flank, open another one. To fasten things up, Clausewitz had sent a Guide to Corps, a relatively small unit. This forced America to make squares. Once they're in squares, there's a huge level of fire from the remaining units. So a small sacrifice with a really big payoff. So this is the final area, the final fight. You can see from the massive envelopment of both my armies and Clausewitz's United Provinces, there's only really one left of the United States, and that's one Marine initially in the square, coming up to a line formation now. Undertaking heavy fire, and it looks like he's going to try a small melee charge, but then it will rout. So that was a good game, a game heavy on the attack against defending players and one attacker. Good game to Clausewitz, von Kickyourass, RestInPieces, Napoleon III, and the flanker. Thanks for watching.